Some big developments tonight in the House Judiciary Committee's investigation into the DOJ's alleged spying on the Trump campaign in 2016. Fox News has learned that Fusion GPS co-founder Glenn Simpson will show up for tomorrow's hearing despite being under subpoena to answer questions about the anti-Trump dossier his company created. But, and it's a big but, Simpson's lawyer says he's going to take the fifth. Are we ever going to get to the bottom of what happened? Joining me now, House Judiciary Committee member and Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs. Welcome back, Congressman Biggs.
Thanks, Kennedy. Congrats on the new time.
Well, thank you very
well
much.
Done.
So delightful to have you on the show tonight. So let's talk a little bit about this. Now we're hearing that Glenn Simpson will in fact show up. It's a shame that, excuse me, he's going to take the fifth because there have been quite a few discrepancies since the last time he was under oath until now.
That's exactly right, and that's what we wanted to get to the bottom of. That's one of it. Just remember who Glenn Simpson is. He's the guy that was hired by Hillary Clinton, her campaign, and the Democrats to do basically Oppo research, which got turned into a basis for spying on the official spying on the campaign of President Trump, then candidate Trump. So for him to come in, I think he must feel that he's got some exposure to some criminal liability. So he's indicated already he's not going to answer any questions. Yeah, because he said that he hadn't had any contact with Bruce Ohr until around Thanksgiving in 2016. But now we're learning from some of Bruce Ohr's emails that, in fact, it was August of that year. So they had a lot to discuss, apparently, before the election. But there's so many people involved here, and sometimes it's easy to lose track of these players and how they intersect, including Michael Sussman, who was the attorney working for the law firm that was paying for the dossier. What was his interaction with James Baker, who was lead counsel at the FBI? What does Rod Rosenstein have to do with any of this? Where was his oversight when all of this was going on? And should there have been more recusals in this case? Well, I'm not saying there should be more recusals. I think Jeff Sessions should never have recused himself, but I certainly think Rod Rosenstein has some exposure, and he should have, and a conflict of interest, and he should have recused himself. And I think he should be gone, but he's not. And so we're getting this constant morass of denials from the top people at DOJ and the FBI, and what they're denying is essentially misuse and abuse of power, of the police power that they held, for political purposes. That's not supposed to happen in this free republic. That's not supposed to happen with either party at any time. Exactly. And you know, of course, there are Democrats who say the only reason you guys on the Judiciary Committee, Republicans, are barking up this tree is to protect the president from any sort of criminal liability in regards to the Mueller investigation. But there are so many elements in so many ways that Rod Rosenstein is involved. And the fact that you have three people within the FBI and DOJ who were saying that when Rosenstein said he would wear a wire and record the president or try and invoke the 25th Amendment, those three people who, you know, are all kind of questionable at this point, they're saying that he was completely serious. Wouldn't you like to know the answer to that? Absolutely. So the chairman, Goodlatte, has said that he's going to issue a subpoena for Mr. Rosenstein, because Rosenstein has basically said, I will only come in for one-on-one interview with the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. Well, that doesn't make sense. So we need to subpoena him, get him to come in, and let's see if he takes the fifth or which way he goes, because he's also testified under oath previously, and we need to find out, because as you know, Kennedy, things keep dripping out. Yeah. They're leaking, and we find them. There's discrepancies, and they also are very incriminating to these people, and they don't want them leaked out. Well, I mean, given the statements that we've heard so far, and, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot that we haven't had access to, all of these statements can't be true at the same time. That means someone is lying, and it's probably someone who had power and influence, and they either didn't use it properly or things just didn't turn out the way they planned. And now it's through gross opacity and negligence. It's now a series of people covering their arses, and I hope you get to the bottom of it, Congressman Biggs. We'll do all I can, Kennedy. Thanks so much. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks.